Yo, it's your boy Marcus from City back on the video. Today we're going to be talking about the worldwide scope of COD Mobile and just a general topic here with how people look at the game, right? And this is mostly going to be in terms of collabs. This is like the second part of my previous video on collabs, and it's something that I think people are missing out on when they look at COD Mobile, right? So I just saw on Instagram they posted another collab, like the very next one they're doing. I don't know how soon, but I think it's called Persona 5, which I believe is anime or whatever. I don't know what that is, manga, anime, it's all the same to me. That being their next collab, people are like, man, in the comment section, they're like, another anime collab, like another one? We just had one. We also just had the boys collab. Like, they are dropping collabs like I don't know, like 5 times a season. Like how many times are we getting collabs? The boys was this season, right? Like Starlight just released, and all of that just released. When was the collab previous to that? Like, I feel like that was early this season. So that's like 3 in a season. This Persona 5 one's supposed to come out maybe end of season or something like that. It just seems like collabs are coming out like crazy, or maybe they're just doing more of them. It's weird, and a lot of them are anime. Now, I am in the part of the community that does not care for anime, right? I don't watch anime. I don't read mangas. I don't do any of that stuff, right? It's not me. Now, people who do that, you probably love this stuff. Like, do you think these collabs are great? You're probably super excited for Persona 5 or whatever it is. Not something that I care about, but there is a good size majority, I guess, of the community that does care, right? You got to remember that COD was a worldwide thing. So you're talking about people around the world. Anime in America might not be a big thing, right? In EU might not be a big thing. More niche. Niche would be a really good word to describe it, right? It's a niche thing. But in like Japan, I've been to South Korea. I'm sure in the Chinese version of this game, like that's a much, much bigger, not niche group of people. It's probably a lot more mainstream anime. Like, it's way more commonplace. And you got to remember that this game's kind of developed. I don't want to say, so it's Activision Shanghai, right? Like, that's the main developer of the game. And maybe like a couple other groups like Tencent or whoever else is in there. And that's who's working on it. So if it's a lot of people working on this game in some capacity in that region of the world, you should expect a lot of content coming revolving around that region of the world, right? I think that's pretty simple. Now, do I think we should see more in a EU, like global, I guess, friendly collabs? Maybe. I feel like it's really not that big of a deal. I've seen so many people complaining about it in like comment sections and saying like, why another anime collab? Like, it's, we just got the boys collab. That's a pretty mainstream, like it's an American TV show or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. That's a more mainstream collab for us, right? And then Persona 5 is a more collab geared towards that region, right? I'm totally fine with these collabs. Like, I honestly think if they were releasing the Persona 5 collab and it came out like Gundam, where it was like its own mode, entire game being added into the game with all these different characters, and you're duking it out, and there's a whole series of special rewards, and you get a free legendary at the end of it, and then there's a bunch of like armory series where you get these cool legendaries you can buy if you got money to spend. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff's awesome. I thought that was a really cool collab. But when they drop a collab like Opanchi Usagi or whatever that was called, that collab sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a scrapbook that you're going through, and like you're trying to fill out this scrapbook full of information. No, I don't think anyone's excited about that. Like, who's excited about that collab? A bunch of people probably don't even know it's in the game. Like, they're probably playing this game like, what is that? I don't want that. The only reason I know is because I follow them on Instagram, but a bunch of people are probably like, I have no idea what that is. So we kind of forget, right? We're more lacking in perspective of what the overall community believes, because we have, not only do we have the NA or EU and global sweat community, but we also have the global casual community, right? And then you have each region's sweat community, each region's casual community, and everything in between. There's a lot of people to please, right? I mean, what's COD Mobile at? It's well over 1 billion downloads, right? Like, it's in the 2 billion now. It's something insane. So with that many people potentially playing your game, that's, you're not necessarily trying to please everybody. You can't do that. But, you got to have some for this, some for that, some for this, some for that. And you got to have a nice, good general thing, right? So I'm thinking, why aren't there more collabs geared towards other regions, like a LATAM, Latin America collab? Like, what would that be? You know what I mean? I think something cool for that, maybe like a Dia de los Muertos type Halloween season collab. Wouldn't that be sick? I feel like that would be sick. That would be something that's more, you know, it's easy to do, right? They've already released stuff like that. There's literally the first skin they ever released was the Outrider Dia de los Muertos skin. Like that was 7 years ago or however long ago, but that was really cool. You know what I mean? At the time, that was sick. It was awesome skin. Never see anybody wearing it anymore except for AI bots, but it still was a really cool skin at the time. Very expensive, like $500 or however much they cost back then. And so I definitely think that, you know, when we have the perspective for us, you know, a lot of people who watch my videos are, I think, NA, right? Most of them. I do have Philippines and India are my next two most watched areas. Why don't they have collabs, right? Because I know India and the Philippines probably have a good amount of people playing COD Mobile. Like there's a pretty good player base in India, I feel like. So why wouldn't there be more collabs geared to that? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm getting towards, right? People are wanting less anime collabs, and maybe they're, you know, in the right with that. But what do we do to replace that? What kind of collabs should there be? And I've seen some comments, some people commented on one of my posts. Some of the things they like to see mentioned Resident Evil. I thought that was sick. I think Resident Evil attached to like the zombies mode would be a sick collab, right? I love Resident Evil in the movies. I had never really played the games, but I've seen all the movies. So that to me would be pretty dope, right? If we got something like, I guess in that same spiel, like Underworld or something like that, some sort of collab of that degree, I feel like stuff like that would be really cool. Attaching collabs to certain modes would be something that I think is pretty hyped for the community. I think that would be very beneficial overall to the growth of that side of the game, right? Especially zombies, where it gets no attention. Attaching a collab and a monetary value to that mode that they see no players playing and no value to the mode will attach some value to the mode, and people might want to play it. You know what I mean? So they always think with the wallets, right? They're thinking about the wallets, and that's what matters to them as developers and studios. So maybe make the money go towards a mode that, you know, people aren't playing, but they would play if there was something to play for. That's just how I'm looking at it, right? I think obviously these collabs to me, like these are small collabs that don't really mean anything, where I want a collab like Gundam. You know what I mean? Like drop a collab like that. If Phantom 5 came out and it was the Gundam collab all over again, I'd be stoked. You know what I mean? But if it's not that way, it's just kind of like whatever. That being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. It's been your boy Marcus from Westini. I'm out of here. Peace.